Hi, I'm Marcy Caron. I'm the Director of Education for the MBB. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to do some warm-ups with the MBB LITE the way it comes, right? So with the handles to the side right now. So I'm going to slip it over my head, put it right on my hips, right? So I start to get a bend and a feel for it. And I'm just going to start out with some deep knee bends and some big moves to warm up the large muscle groups. So I'm using the band to help me stand up, but I'm also doing half the work. Good. All right, now from here I'm going to go ahead with a nice pyramid stance. Draw my left hip forward. All right, engage the quad to the femur, reach the arms up. Pressing into the band, draw the left hip forward, reach those arms forward. All right, so we got that hamstring, and we'll add a nice twist. Good. Coming out of that, I'm going to come into warrior one. So I'm going to ground that back heel, draw the left hip, reach those arms up, slide them into the hip extender. Good. And then I'm going to go ahead and release that. Coming back to the center, same idea. Maybe I have a little more trust here, so I'm going to walk my feet back. Just start to get the blood pumping. And then we'll go ahead for a pyramid on the other side. Left foot forward, right foot back. A little bit of width. Draw the right hip forward. Squeeze those thighs together. Reach up, and again, the band's doing half the work for me, helping me to stay in the right format, right alignment, but I'm doing the other half of the work. Nice, easy twist. Warm up through the low lumbar. Good, and then go ahead, transition into warrior one. I'm going to back up, draw my right hip forward, creating lots of length. Slip my hands back here. Open up through the shoulders. Good. All right, so I want to do a little side workout. My right foot is going to go forward. So the leg on the outside is the one that goes forward. I line them up on a tight rope, leaning into the band. I can take some more liberties here on an angle. So I get the breath going, exhaling. Inhale, rule of thumb, exhale on the exertion, inhale the extension. This gets into body parts and muscles that have been dormant for years. Exhale, inhale. Let's finish off with two more. I'm going to hold it here, leaning in. Grounding the feet here and reaching. And then to the center. Good. All right, so intermission between sides, right on those back hip bones. Soften the knees. Avoid walking too far forward, even though that's what it seems like you want to do. Keep the heels right underneath the hips. Then bend from here, and the back bend comes from the thoracic part of the back. You're engaged in the lumbar, so you're nice and protected. Just starting out with a little hint of a back bend. Maybe I can hold the last one, grounding the heels, lifting from the heart, internally rotating those thighs, opening up through that low back. Good. All right, and then we'll switch over to the other side. My left hip's on the band, so my left leg's the front one. Bend the knees for a little pliability. All right, twisting the torso around the spine. Nice big moves, not rushing. And following that same breath pattern, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. So really warming up through that whole thoracic, using those oblique muscles as well. Last two. Last one. So from here you can give yourself a little more of an angle. Lean in, ground those feet, creating length on both sides of the body. And towards the anchor wall. All right, from here, one more set of back bends. So you want to find that place where it feels like it's supporting you. Walk the feet right under the hips, start to bend the knees. So from here, the handles that come with the light, hook them on really simply. And then I can use them for a little more security. Right, so I can take my back bend and then come on up. All right, so I know they're there, so I can maybe even go a little bit deeper. But they really help me to come on up. I'm going to do one more. Nice, feels so good. So we'll do a counter after a couple of back bends. It's a good idea to have a counter pose. So I'm going to ground my heels, lift up my tailbone, let the head relax, grabbing opposite elbows so I can enjoy the freedom of the band helping me. I'm going to do a little side sway just because it feels good. Okay, so now I'm going to slip the handles off as easily as I slipped them on. 2 clicks. And I'm going to show you an inversion. So a lot of times it's scary to go inverted without a wall. This gives you the security to know that you have the band to help you, but you have that freedom of spacelessness, if that's such a word. So I'm going to take the toe band, I'm going to make it at 75%, which means that, right, this would be 50, so here's my 75. All right, so I'm going to pinch this right in my hip so it doesn't come up. All right, and so then I know that I have this connection for the band and I can trust it. So when I bend down, right, put my hands in the right sweet spot, I'm going to go ahead and kick on up. So I really have the security here of the band helping me, but the freedom of being in the middle of the room, which is amazing. So I love that. I love that. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to hook on the PNF. All right, so this is an upgrade. The handles, the yellow antennas go up. I'm going to pull the toe band back up. And it's super easy. Again, I hook the yellow antennas so they face up. I hook the hip extender on. Now, if I have the silver rings done, it's the same thing. So if you have the attachment, the upgrade, you don't have to take it on and off. You can just leave it on, and it does both for you. But I want to show you what it does without it. So I'm going to unhook, and then I'm going to go ahead and come on back to hip extender right on the hips. So earlier, I did this motion to get my muscle groups warmed up. But because I have the PNF, now I can make it bigger. And notice how it's going to help me spring forward and takes me back. All right, so now the breath, same thing, it's the exertion, but we call it the extension now. I exhale on the extension and I land lightly. 2 more, and last one. Okay, so with the band, I'm going to do a series of Warrior 2. I'm going to use the PNF. So I can go from the deep point of my Warrior 2 with the extension of my muscles and just go a little bit deeper here. So I'm going to bring my front foot all the way to the corner of the mat, and my back foot on an angle. So it's like you're twisting out a sponge and wringing out the excess. So I can come into these nice lunges. Then once I get to that low point from here, then I can even go lower. The band's helping me, but I'm doing the work. But it's keeping me in the right form. 2, and the last one. Rest that arm on the front leg and reach the other arm over and take advantage of the band holding you up, and you can get the ribs stacked over the ribs, shoulder stacked over the shoulder. I'm going to reach the top arm out. I don't really need that hand, even though I feel like it's securing me. I'm reaching it out here, like I'm trying to pass the ball to the person next to me across. Take these little pulses. So you're already working the muscles in a different way, the spindles of that top thigh. I'm going to hold it here. I'm going to reach up. I'm going to reach back, and then I'm going to take that same exhale. Exhale. I'm not hyperventilating. I'm going to make the moves nice and slow and specific. Now the last one. Reach up. Exhale. Reach up, inhale. Exhale. Again. Reach up and back. All right. Hold it here. Come on up. And then I'm going to take the band off to allow myself to get my hips facing forward. I still have the same leg forward. Draw those hips forward. The back hip comes forward so that you don't have this too much of an arch in your back. Nice form. What I notice that when a lot of people do twists, their hip accommodates them, right? Energy works in the path of least resistance. So I'm going to reach on up and reach forward. Come on up, forward. Inhale. And hold it here. Now the choice is the hand to the floor and the other arm reaches, pushing the hip in, or a little more challenging, get the elbow on the knee and twist. But I'm still pushing that back hip forward, and then from here, little pulses. And hold it here, and now instead of the up and down pulse, I'm shifting forward and back. And go ahead and unwind. Similar to the pyramid pose we did earlier, but I'm going to drop my back knee and straighten my front leg. Draw that back hip forward, flex that foot, and go ahead and come on here. So it's a nice left hamstring stretch. And again, since we're playing around with the twist, you can add a twist here. Pushing that hip forward engages my abs right away. So as much as the band's doing the work, I'm also getting extra work by helping my little assistant. Okay, from here, I'm going to come back up. I like to add a little cardio in the middle. Woo! It's like a slingshot. 2 more. Last one. All right, so switching to the other side. I bring it to the corner of the mat, not traditional how the heels would be lined up. So I'm here with my pulses, right? You see that band expanding, and my breath follows it. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. So I find that point where I'm low from here, right? So at that low point, then I'm going to challenge my muscles a little bit deeper. So that's how we get into the fascia. The band really can help us to exaggerate these things. So hold there, rest the forearm on the thigh. Take the hands on the rib cage, the solar plexus, and really try to stack shoulder over shoulder, hip over hip. Reach that top arm over. Still leaning into the band. Reach the opposite arm. And then little pulses. If you go too fast, you'll end up hyperventilating because we're still connecting breath to the movement. Exhale, inhale. Now I'm going to hold it at that low point, reach the arms up. And I'm pressing into the hip extender with my hip and reaching back. Little pulses here. So firing up those muscles from an elongated, right? So you're lengthening, you're strengthening from the lengthened position. So it's really the beauty of this PNF. All right, so I'm going to hold there, reach up on my inhale, reach forward on my exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Good. All right, so finish strong. Last time, each way. Back up a little bit, take the band off so you still have the same foot forward, but you draw both hips forward. I'm going to sink low. Lift up my hip bones as if they're headlights on a car, so they're both facing like the brights are on. Sink into that back leg, get the psoas here and the front hamstring. Reach on up. Release the shoulder blades down the back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let's do 2 more. Now I stay down low and I try to scooch forward and back instead of up and down. Okay, now for the twist, the choices are the hands on the floor and the arms up, or the elbow hooks. Plant the hand. Use the top hand to push into the bottom hand. Draw that back hip forward and twist torso around the spine. Can add little pulses in here too. All right. And slowly from here, unwind like we did pyramid earlier, but we're going to come onto the back knee, straighten the front leg. All right, so you're really engaging that foot. Walk the hands forward. Draw that back hip forward. And then you can add the twist. Good. All right, so from here I'm going to slide that foot back. And I'm going to come into a forward fold in between a down dog and a forward fold. So my feet are on an angle, but I'm not in a big down dog. So I can get that shoulders, no pressure on the wrists. You can really open up through the shoulders. And then I have that action so I can use it to get even deeper into the hamstrings. I'm going to hold it at that low point. I'm going to slide the right hand on the left calf, pull the chest to the thigh. See how my courage is. So I lift my fingertips, my hands off the floor, keep my fingertips there. Maybe my hand comes off the floor. There's always room to grow, places that we want to get to. Right? So it's always okay to say, not today. Top of the fingers, maybe lift. Good. All right, so from here, I'm going to walk those hands in, and I'm going to come on back into tabletop pose. I'm just going to press my hips in. Here's my back really arch. Press those hips in, engaging through the belly. Good. Walk a little bit more forward. Little pulses here. Gives me time to really assess what's going on. Nice. All right, now from here, I'm going to do a simple turnaround. Place this right under my hips like a swing and sit back here. This would be your starting position. Maybe you're going to walk back. Maybe you can get your forearms on the floor. Let's see how I'm doing today. Yep. Lift my hips up. Make sure not too much of an arch in my low back. Drop the head back. Beautiful stretch for the front side of the body. And slowly come on up from here. All right, so I'm going to come on up. I want to do one last variation. So I take this off, simple. Unhook. We still have the PNF going. I'm going to take my handles, hook them right on. All right, so easy to just quickly change it over. All right. So it's too long for me. I'm going to go ahead and bring my toe line up, all the way up. Nice. All right, so from here, I'm going to go ahead and turn around. Put these right into my arms here, right into the elbows. With a flat back, if I'm too arched, it's going to put pressure on my low back. So I want to tuck that in, walk the feet back a little. Open up here, so maybe my arms will be here to start out with. Maybe I'm going to come up, right? You could eventually get to here, but you really have to respect your low back here. But I love the idea of the back bend, you know, and then if you are super warm and super comfortable with the band, you draw those shoulders, open up, and go ahead and release that. All right, we'll do a quick switch, draw the shoulders away, and now I can come into my chair pose using the band, the PNF. So I come down and up, down and up. Exhale. I'm going to hold it here. I'm going to make sure I don't have an arch in my low back. I'm going to lift up, and I'm going to do bicep curls. Right, so I get a little bit of bungee action, but I'm also getting this, see how it just slides so smoothly? You can really take advantage of that sliding action in the band here. Draw the shoulders away, sink down a little bit lower, and slowly come on up. Good. Okay, so to finish, we'll come into a nice forward fold. Again, I have the handles to bungee, but I want to protect through my back here. So I'm going to start to make my way forward. I'm using the band the whole time. If I just came like this and came down, right, I'm not letting it help me. So the idea is that as I take the band, I walk the feet back, let the arms help me with the action, and then I come in. The band was taut the whole time. Then I have these little pulses for the hamstrings. All right, now I'm going to slowly come on up halfway and all the way up. Good. So I'm going to just take a little extra. I keep saying last one, and then it's just so easy to go into something else. Opening up your shoulders. Right. If you have any kind of shoulder soreness, stiffness, you're going to respect that, but it really can get you into some nice shoulder openings here. Good. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for joining us.